Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this media conference to preview tomorrow's UEFA Euro 2020 final between England and Italy. We're joined here by England manager Gareth Southgate and captain Harry Kane, who are ready to take your questions. So please raise your virtual hand, and we'll start with Simon Peach of the Press Association.
Hi, good luck to you both. Just a question for Gareth. Just basically your thoughts heading into what is the nation's biggest game in 55 years and the letter you received from the Queen. The end of it kind of summed up, talking about spirit, commitment and pride, everything your team has displayed this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic to have obviously a letter from the Queen, letter from the Prime Minister to all of the team, and the recognition that the players and all of the staff have gone about this in the right way. We had a fabulous reception when we left St George's. All the local villages had come out and lining the route, and people pulled over in lay-bys, and so you got more of a sense of what's going on outside the bubble that we've been in. But it always comes back to tomorrow. You know, we're in a final, and we're here to win. So everything, it's important how we've represented people, and we're pleased that legacy has been there, but now we want to go and bring the trophy home for everybody.
Thanks. Should have said it at the top, but just a reminder to specify who your question for is when you ask. We'll go next to James Robson as standard.
Hi, this is a question for Gareth. Hi, Gareth. Tomorrow it's going to be a long day leading up to the match. I was just wondering, what does tomorrow look like? You know, how do you keep the players, I suppose, busy, if you like? It's going to be hard enough for the fans, let alone the players, and they've got to wait till 8 p.m. to kick off. What do you do in that time?
For us, it's just a normal match day. We've prepared the same way for all of our evening kickoffs, and we'll have the same meetings at the same time. Players will perhaps have a stretch or a walk, although that might be a bit more difficult looking outside the hotel. So, but all of our preparation, especially for these knockout matches, has been the same. We've had evening kickoffs each time, and I think no matter what the game, you've got to keep that consistency in how you prepare. The players are ready, they're tactically aware, they're used to playing in these games, and everybody's looking forward to it.
And I was just wondering, when you got the group together, I think Luke Shaw said at the start the speech you gave was moving when you addressed everyone at the same time. So just wondering, what did you actually say to them at that point to set the tone for this tournament?
Well, we presented everybody with legacy caps, which, as you know, we have introduced the legacy numbers in the last couple of years. We felt that's been an important thing, not just for the players that are with us now, but for our former players. You know, you to have that moment where you've got your number, it's unique to you. There's only a certain number of players who've had the opportunity to represent their country, and so we talked a little bit about that and how, you know, this was our moment to represent our time. What had gone before is not unimportant, because we recognise the contribution other people have made, and we're respectful of that. But the near misses and the tournaments that haven't gone so well weren't important for this team. And over the last 4 years, they've knocked down so many barriers, and they've come through so many different challenges, different ways to win matches. Had to come back from being behind, had to go through extra time, had to go through penalty shootouts. So their resilience and experiences as a team have really prepared them well for this moment.
Thank you, James. Next, we'll take a question from Italy. Marco Conterio.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Southgate. My question is, do you have any message for the fans for not booing the Italian national anthem?
Yes, of course. It's important that our fans always respect the opposition, and we know that in actual fact, when we play abroad and fans boo our anthem, it probably inspires us even more. So I don't think it will help the team. I think we can intimidate the team with booing during the game, but it's different for the anthem. I think we should be respectful.
Sorry, Marco. Go again. You got a follow up there?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, my other question, if I can, is for Harry Kane. Which are your feelings for the game against Chiellini and Bonucci, not the last defenders of the world? Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. They're two amazing defenders. They've had great experience over their careers in big matches. Obviously, I've been fortunate enough to play against them before, and as a striker, I want to be playing against the best centre-backs in the world, and those two are definitely up there. But of course, this game is not just about me and the two centre-backs. The game is about England versus Italy, and we feel like we've got a great belief in the team. We've got a great strength in the squad. There's a lot of things that can happen in a final, and we need to make sure that we're on the right side of it.
Thank you, Marco. Next we go to Arilis Uldsada from VG Norway.
Gareth, please, regarding the much talked about football's coming home chant and phrase, because it seems to me like it's being misinterpreted outside of England as some kind of English arrogance, and when you go out of a tournament, it's being used as a joke against you. So I'm just wondering, as you followed this chant for I guess since '96, how do you interpret it, and what is the real meaning of it?
Well, I didn't want to listen to it for 15 years because it was too painful for me. So it's you have to know the English to understand our humour, and our humour is probably quite unique, but it's certainly not arrogant. The lyrics are making fun of ourselves, really, and the things that have gone wrong. So it has always appeared now at the tournaments. We've got a couple of replacements that have seemed to have come in now in terms of songs as well, which is nice to keep moving things forward. But it's great. The atmosphere in the ground has been great. Wembley, the new Wembley is when we started 3-4 years ago, we had people throwing paper aeroplanes. They weren't behind the team. There was an apathy towards the team. Now the energy in the stadium is fantastic, and that's so important for the players. They need to feel that. They need that warmth, that support, and it has definitely helped inspire us during this tournament.
Thanks, Arilis. Next we'll go to Kerry Brown, BeanymanSports.
A question to you first, Gareth. Jeff Hurst has likened your leadership to the leadership of Sir Alf Ramsey. The Queen has just sent you a message far too early on in your years. I'm wondering how you are dealing with reaching an England final, because the whole nation are trying to get their head around it.
I think, we're very calm. We've got a lot of belief in this group of players, and Harry and myself were just talking earlier that we've grown into the tournament. We knew there were different phases of this tournament, and our first objective was to qualify from the group, and we stayed calm after the Scotland game when, they're the moments where there is criticism and you can adopt a siege mentality and change your approach with people outside, and we were determined not to do that. We were quite consistent in the way we carried ourselves and went about our work, and from there it's been opportunities to make history every time we've played, it seems. So we've done that, the players have done that, and we're looking forward to the challenge. It's a brilliant game to be involved in. It's a brilliant game to prepare for, because we're playing a high level opponent, and they're tactically very good. They've had a tremendous run, so that's another great challenge for us.
And a question to you, Harry. You've just experienced something that your coach did go through at Euro 96. You've seen all the fans on the street. The nation will take to the street for you right now, Harry. How do you bottle that? And you've already reached a final, you've made history, but I don't think you're done yet, are you?
No, I mean, that's the challenge now. of course, we've been knocking down barriers along the way, but we started this tournament with an aim to win it, and we have that opportunity tomorrow night. And to see the fans on the street like they have been, and see the reception that we've had as we've pulled into the hotel here and as we was leaving St George's Park, is just showing us how big an occasion it is. I think in Russia, obviously we was over there and we was in our own bubble, and we could see videos of what it was like back home, but we couldn't really experience it ourselves. And even this camp, obviously we've been kind of just on to the next one, just focusing on the next game, which we've done for this final. But it's great to see the reception that we're getting, and we know how much it means to the English fans all over the country. So we're proud to be representing them, and hopefully we can do them proud again tomorrow night.
Thanks, Gary. Antonello Guerrero, La Repubblica.
Hello, everyone, and good luck for tomorrow. I have first a question to Gareth. What concerns you most? I mean, of Italy, maybe Chiesa, where he's in a great form recently, or more the midfield? Because how much are you concerned about these three, Jorginho, Barella, and the others, against two maybe the least experienced players in your team, which are Rice and Phillips?
Yeah, I think when you're the coaching team, you watch everything, and you have to decide the most important information for the players and not flood them with too much. Try and adapt the game to our strengths. Try to highlight the potential weaknesses in the opponent. So, of course, there are fantastic players all through the Italian team. They have a good tactical plan, experienced coach, and an amazing record over the last 30 games. So we're very aware of that. But players like our two midfield players, they've played beyond their experience in this tournament, and they've already played against Luka Modric, Toni Kroos. So they've had to adapt to these types of midfield players with great European experience, and they've done that brilliantly. We're different, we have our own strengths, we have our own style of play, which is geared towards the strengths of our own players, and that's the beauty of football, that every team has different strengths, and we've tried to play to ours and adapt our game to our strengths, and we need to do the same tomorrow.
And I have a question for Harry as well. Harry, as a captain, how different is the eve of this incredible game, especially for you and your mates? I mean, after 55 years, and we all know that. I mean, how different is from other games, and how do you prepare all to face this incredible challenge?
Yeah, if I'm totally honest, we've gone through the same preparation as we have done the last few games. We've had the same amount of time in between in terms of to recover and to prepare and to work on the training field. So soon as the game finished in the midweek, it was just full focus onto this one. And we went through the same strategies and the same routine that we'd gone through before. So, of course, there's an extra level of excitement and anticipation, but that's all part and parcel of playing in major football. So a lot of us have played at the highest level in our club careers. A few of us obviously had the opportunity in the World Cup a few years ago. So it's just about staying calm, staying as relaxed as you can, and just look forward to being out there and enjoying the moment as much as you can.
Okay, next to Marcello Courage, TV Globo.
Hi there. First one for Harry. In the past, Harry.
Connection issue there. We'll jump to James Ollie at ESPN.
Hello, you got me?
Yes, we have, yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can, yeah.
Yeah. One for Harry, if I can. You said earlier in the tournament, Harry, that you were trying to sort of peak in the latter stages, sort of contrasting that to Russia. Can I just ask how you've actually gone about that? Have you done something differently behind the scenes to sort of try and peak in those latter stages?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, I'd have loved to have scored 3 or 4 goals in the group stage and got off to a fantastic start and gone on from there. But it was more probably about the energy. I felt like in the World Cup, obviously it was such an amazing start. Starting with Tunisia, scoring last minute, a lot of energy after that game was used in terms of the emotion and everything like that. And then Panama, the same. We had an amazing game. I scored a hat-trick and again, there's a lot of talk, a lot of mental energy. So Colombia was the same, and not just physically. I felt like mentally maybe just lost a little bit towards the latter stages. So going into this one with a bit more experience, it's just about not getting too carried away. Whether I score or don't score, obviously we was winning games, which was the most important thing. So it's just about just staying in the moment, not getting carried away, just knowing that as a player and as a team, we're on the right track. And thankfully it's worked out pretty well, but I guess that's all part of the learning curve of playing in major tournaments and gaining that experience. So hopefully I've got enough left to finish the job tomorrow.
Thanks, James. Marcello, we have you back, so we'll try again.
Okay, so Harry, first question to you. In the past, before big matches like these, football teams used to do these mind games to scare the opponent. But this English team brings such a humbleness in the narrative that it seems odd to do something like this. Do you fear being too friendly to your opponents in a final like this?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously that's the personality of a lot of the players in the squad. They are humble, they are respectful. But I think we have a real focus and determination to win. I think we've shown that in the last tournament we played and going into this tournament, knocking down barriers that have been there for our country for a long, long time. So, I feel like in modern football nowadays, there isn't so much probably mind games before and getting too hyped and getting too out of control. We have a real focus of where we want to be, a real vision of where we want to be. Without that and without our winning mentality, we wouldn't be in the situation we are now.
And for Gareth, I interviewed Ian Brody, who wrote Three Lions, the It's Coming Home song, 2 days ago. And I asked him if he had to do a new version of the song for this team, which player he's going to pick to put in the lyrics. And then he mentioned Harry as a super striker, but he's told me that it should be only you, Gareth, because you're the unity of this team. You mean a lot for this team. How do you take this on?
I think any manager relies on having support from coaches, especially. I've got a fantastic assistant, Steve Holland, who we've worked for a number of years now, and I couldn't do what I do without him. But we have a big staff, and in modern management, in any business, you can't lead without good people around you. You need the right information, the right support. And so, I'm fortunate to be in that position. Also, we have some very good players, and we should never underestimate the fact that whatever we might do, the game's about players, and we've got some very good ones who are highly motivated, who've worked brilliantly together. Some high-profile players who've really accepted perhaps not getting as much football as they might have wanted, but they've all committed to the team and they've committed to the group. And I think our country have realised that. They've seen what that's been about, and they deserve to be in the position they are now with this opportunity.
Thanks, Marcello. Alex Howell, BBC Sport.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Alex.
I was just going to ask, have you allowed yourself to think about what it would be like if you managed to win this tournament? I know you're very focused on the game, but have you had a couple of moments when you thought about what it would be like to bring the trophy home?
No. I mean, at the back of your mind, you always have to have a bit of a vision of how you would like to see the end and play that out. But the reality is, I think you've got to focus on the processes and focus on the performance, and that's what we have always done with this team. And I think that it's important that the players have an understanding of that. Whatever path the game takes, and it can take any number of different paths. Football matches are like that. They're prepared and they're ready. So it's pointless if you start to think about the end or after while you're still involved in the game or before the game. Then you're probably heading in the wrong direction. And we've just got to make sure we control the bits that we can control.
Thank you. And then just one more, Gareth. I know you spoke to my colleague earlier, John Murray, and mentioned that Phil Foden had a slight knock. I was just wondering whether there had been chance within the team to assess him and whether he'll be available for tomorrow.
No, as I said earlier, he's a doubt. We've been on the bus for the last couple of hours, so medical team will sort of give us a final update on that later. But he's definitely doubtful, although it's not something that's serious. It's just a case of whether it's going to keep him out of this particular game.
Thanks, Alex. Simon Evans, Reuters.
Hi, Gareth. Obviously, this being a final, it's logical that this is the strongest team you're going to face in this tournament. What do you think the team has to do better than it's done in previous games? Very good performances throughout, but to raise their game for this, what areas have you been focusing on doing better in?
Well, it's not necessarily about better. It's the challenge of every game is slightly different, and in finals, actually, the key is to hit your normal level. Right. Lots of teams in finals end up underperforming, and you don't have to find a level beyond where you've ever gone before. It's about hitting and doing what you're good at, transferring what you do every day on the training pitch into the match. And I think our players know that's our ethos. They've been in matches, as Harry said earlier. We've got a number who've played in Champions League finals now, a number who've been to a World Cup semi-final. So we know that those preparations are important. Every game is different. Every opposition is different, and we always review our matches. We always look back and look at what we've done well and what we could do better. But this game now is a different sort of tactical challenge, a different opponent, and we've got to prepare properly for that.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Jack Pitbrook, The Athletic.
Hi, Gareth. The team started pretty aggressively in the Croatia, Czech Republic, Ukraine, Denmark games, but started pretty nervously in the Germany game. How do you see the start of the game going tomorrow, and how much of a factor do you think that will be?
I think it's always difficult to know that, because events can happen at the beginning of a game. There can be a challenge that bounces for somebody, and a chance can be created, or a pass can drop short, and that can affect a team for a couple of minutes. So, but I think the biggest thing is that we know that whatever happens during the game, all the players are together. They've got colleagues who are going to work together to pressure the ball. They've got colleagues who are always going to be available to receive the ball, and in the moments where you have to suffer a bit as a team, the team respond well. They dig in together. We're blessed that we have forward players who defend from the front and recognise the importance of that part of the game, and in the modern game that's so important. You don't carry players without the ball, and that gives you a foothold in games. You can gain confidence from that. So the start, of course, is important, and you'd like a stable start, but the game could be 95 minutes, could be 120. We've got to make sure we're ready for however long it takes.
Thanks, Jack. Javier Caceres?
Yes, one question for Gareth. The former Premier League coach Mauricio Pochettino once famously said that there's something particular about the English football, that a coach always loses his team for 10 minutes due to the pressure of the public. They have so much influence on the game. Have you experienced something like this during this tournament, which is more or less the first time after a year without public? And what are you going to do to get your team be wearing a cold hat in this match tomorrow?
Yeah, it's important for us. We've talked to the players for years about the importance of discipline on the field, staying calm if we concede, which we knew we wouldn't go the whole tournament without conceding, and in the semi-final we responded really well to that moment. Within a few minutes we'd created 2 chances and we were back level in the game in 10 minutes. I think that's key. The players know, especially the players that have been with us a long time, that yes, the atmosphere around you can be intense, but you've got to keep your focus on the parts that you can control and not be distracted by things, not lose heart when things are going against you. They're the moments you have to dig in, and we've got a lot of leaders who are growing in the group. We're blessed in that regard in the starting team and also in the squad, and their voices before games, during games are really important.
Thanks, Javier. We're on to our final question, and it'll be Theo Squires.
Hi both. Got a question for each of you. I'll start with Gareth. It's quite a young England squad you've got, but since the 2018 World Cup semi-final, a number of your players have been in Champions League semi-finals, Champions League finals, even Europa League as well. But when it comes to making a name in a side like this, I suppose your midfield's where you're lacking players with that experience. Does that come into your thinking when you're naming a side, or is it just they've been doing so well throughout the tournament, there's no real reason to doubt what they're doing?
No, I think there are benefits to having experience of big matches, and sometimes there's benefits for it all being fresh and exciting and new. And you know, Declan and Calvin in particular have adapted so well to that challenge. As I said earlier, they've already played against some outstanding midfield players in this competition, so we've got trust in all of our players. That's why we've selected them. We've known that in any situation we'd be happy to put any of them on the field. We've put some really young players into matches that had a high profile, potentially quite a lot of tension and pressure. They've all dealt with that really well, and we've had some senior players coming back from injury that have contributed, really importantly as well. So this effort has been about the whole squad, and that will continue into tomorrow.
Now for Harry, you've been part of this journey pretty much ever since the beginning. Obviously, you're England captain, you're part of that semi-final, and you're one of the players to have played in semi-finals and finals since then. But you've also got a number of your teammates who are club captains for their respective sides, like you think of Jordan Henderson, Maguire, Connor Cody, Jack Grealish. How important is that to the group, having these leaders and having these players who have played semi-finals and finals going into this game?
Yeah, that's a massive strength of ours as a squad, I feel, as the captain, it's not an easy job, but it's definitely made easier when you have them types of leaders around you, because it's not just one voice. We have many voices, like the manager said, that help out during games, after games, before games, and that's a huge part of a successful team. So of course we wouldn't be where we are without all those players, and I think they've given a real good vision for the younger players in the squad as well. And every big game that you play, you want as much experience as possible, and like I said, we definitely have that. So it's going to play an important role, obviously tomorrow, and the future of this team as well.
Okay, everybody, that concludes this evening's media conference. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.